Hey there, team, is your boy Lipit out here with another reaction video. Today we got The Bizarre World of North Korean Influencers by Fern. Let's get right into it, shall we? Hit it.
This is Song A. She's an influencer. She tells stories about her everyday life, using an over-the-top British accent.
Hello everyone.
Sometimes she goes hiking.
Nice to see you again.
Sometimes she cooks.
I think that something's missing.
All pretty normal. But there's one thing that makes Song A stand out. She's from North Korea.
Can you guess where I am right now? Everything is under control as it used to be, and everyone is just fine.
That is exactly what someone with a gun pointed at their head would say. I'm just saying that's not a typical sentence in the English language, my brothers and sisters, that you would normally use in a normal, non-hostage situation. But hey, that's just me talking. Let's just keep going.
This all seems a bit odd.
There goes the bell. I gotta go. I come in spring to look at the flowers, so cheer up.
And she is by no means the only North Korean influencer.
Good morning.
Come visit North Korea.
Hi everyone. How embarrassing.
What is going on here? In the last few years, more and more social media channels have been popping up that give us a glimpse into what North Korea is actually like. Well, allegedly.
I'm going to show you the changing appearance of Pyongyang and people's daily life, as well as mine. There are so many items, different in color, shape, and flavor.
A lot of North Korean content goes viral, especially on TikTok. Finally, the world gets to see a different side of this mysterious country. The beautiful beaches, for example.
The North Korea they don't show you.
The full refrigerators, where you can even find bananas. Or how beautiful the capital is, lit up at night. They show people strolling down the street, enjoying a beer in a bar, or snacking on fast food. The good life.
All North Koreans have cars.
Videos like this one gain over 40 million views. The channels are supposedly run by locals, living in the beautiful DPRK, proud citizen of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. But wait a second, how can these channels even post their videos from North Korea?
Also in Nordkorea gibt es zwar ein Intranet und da gibt es auch diverse Apps und so weiter, also ganz hinterm Mond sind die nicht, aber die haben kein Internet.
This is Dr. Rüdiger Frank. He's a professor of East Asian Studies at the University of Vienna and has been studying North Korea for over 30 years. Ordinary citizens in North Korea don't have access to our normal internet. Only a few thousand of the 25 million inhabitants have this privilege.
Also letztlich so gut wie gar niemand.
And even those have only limited access, so it's very unlikely that an ordinary citizen in North Korea would record these videos and post them online on TikTok. It makes you wonder who is actually running these accounts. Anyone duped by these videos could probably... Let's take a closer look at Song A's account.
I'm Song A-in from Pyongyang. I'm 11 years old and 5th year in the primary school.
Her channel was founded in January 2022. With her videos, she wants to showcase what life is like in North Korea to her more than 30,000 curious foreign viewers.
Pyongyang, where I live, is a very beautiful and magnificent city. Have you ever been to Pyongyang? Well, if you come here, you'll be totally surprised because literally wherever you go, there are amusement parks.
Her content should probably have a certain feel-good quality, like this trip to a water park with her friend. In this episode, Song A takes us with her on her first day at a new school. Later, she takes us along on a trip to a children's hospital, but she's not there because she needs medical assistance.
However, my heart was pumping with the desire of going to the Ongni Children's Hospital. Oh, how I wish I could stay here and play all day.
Song A's videos don't feel authentic.
Yeah,
It's like-
no shit, but there's just something a bit creepy about it, don't you think? It's just, if it really was about normal life, then you wouldn't really have to keep telling, oh, things are normal on camera. You just walk around and just show it as it is. But clearly that's not the case because it's a propaganda channel. Like that's clearly what this is. And not to mention, I remember a few years back when Steam had their whole Steam survey of the heat map on the world wherever there were Steam accounts. And there's probably one small dot in North Korea, which is well, there's at least someone out there with Steam in North Korea who is actually having a good time. But they don't have internet access. They aren't able to post videos. So how are they recording videos and then just editing and then posting it if you have limited access to the internet in North Korea? Or are they going outside and probably going to a different country and uploading them? Just seems like a waste, doesn't it?
Like she's reciting lines by heart.
As you can see, this is my school, Hyosung Junior Middle School. Already I can feel that I have lived time here for 3 years.
Second, I have studied well and got a certificate.
Her movements
Yeah, that's...
seem studied.
I wish with all my little heart that you all, like us, would overcome these harsh difficulties.
She doesn't even seem like a normal 11-year-old.
Right.
The fact that she speaks fluent British English is allegedly thanks to her mother. She taught it to Sang-ae from a very young age. But Sang-ae leaves out a few important details. She is not just any kid growing up in North Korea. She's the daughter of a North Korean diplomat. She spent part of her childhood in England. She's the granddaughter of the vice foreign minister and great-granddaughter of the former supreme military commander of North Korea. Her family belongs to the elite and is close to the ruling Kim family. A media company run by the North Korean state has allegedly been publishing content on social media platforms since 2017.
Oh.
According to research by the portal NK News, Sang-ae is part of these propaganda productions.
But that is interesting. Oh, that makes sense. So it's kind of like you have like someone that's really high up the social echelon, and then they just kind of just find a way to just post videos out there. Fair enough.
And her channel is just one of many. There's the YouTube channel Echo of Truth with Un-A, which has since been deleted.
Hello, my dear friends. I wish this beautiful April day could cheer you up a little bit.
Or Olivia Natasha, Yumi Space DPRK Daily, also deleted.
And now, you might be wondering, the owners of this splendid new flat are. Believe me or not, houses here are given to ordinary working people free of charge.
However, it's hard to say whether all of these accounts about North Korea are all state-sponsored propaganda. Zoe discovers, for example, works for a British tourism company in China, Koryo Tours, and Young Wai Shin, that offers trips to North Korea. In over 200 videos on her YouTube channel and on TikTok, she shows us the beautiful sides of the country. She visits North Korean festivals, goes skiing, or shows us how North Korean families live.
Are you happy to be going back to Pyongyang? Yeah.
According to her own statements, she does not receive anything in return for her content. It is not a propaganda account and not sponsored by the North Korean government. We were unable...
I'm going to have to call cap on that, but it just, man, you know something's unauthentic when someone actually goes in there and puts way more adjectives behind certain things. Look at these splendid flats. Girl, they normal flats. Okay, it is what it is. Don't try pretending that it's coming in from luxury. It's just me saying it. And that's just, look, they're obviously just sticking to Pyongyang. I imagine you just can't go to any of the like the rural or like the other areas, talk about the other sections of the country that have problems. But yeah, no, this is still trying to get around the fact that it's still a brutal dictatorship that is still holding hostage most of people's freedoms and their lives. And this is, I don't know, it's like a bleak co-op, cover-op, basically, that's trying to psy-op most of, like, what, millennials and children into basically believing that North Korea is a perfectly fine place, which is so absurd that you kind of just disregard it. It's just like, yeah, it is what it is. They just post content trying to, like, entrap people who are gullible, but generally speaking, if you know, you know, and is not a great place to be. Just straight up. There's just no other way to put it. You know, it is
to
what
verify
it is.
this, however.
Gerade wenn die länger bestehen und wenn die professionell gemacht sind, kann man schon davon ausgehen, dass das mit Billigung des Staates passiert.
100%. You think that government does not know what all video and what all like data packets like leave the country, that they have no idea what's going out of their state? Fuck no. Of course they do.
Und das würde also für uns definitiv unter Propaganda fallen.
Obviously. Okay, yeah, sure.
So her content might be actively tolerated because it paints a favorable picture, even if she might produce it independently. North Korea loves propaganda, on state television, on giant screens projected onto hotel walls, or as action movies. Kim Jong-un was
what was
not
the
democratic.
reference? Hold on, I gotta see. I don't know if you can see it. That's okay.
Kim Jong-un was not democratically elected. His rule is based solely on ideology. Somehow he has to legitimize that power.
Die Legitimation in solchen Systemen wie eben Nordkorea läuft in ganz wesentlichen Teilen über die Propaganda.
This applies both within and outside the country. Everything found on social media is propaganda meant for the outside world. Of course, because North Koreans don't have the internet. That content is primarily intended to prove how well the country is doing. Life in North Korea is supposedly not as miserable as the Western media make it out to be.
North Korea.
Quite the opposite. Just take a look. North Korea has great schools, hospitals, better fast food than McDonald's, and even banana. Just to be clear, the truth is that there is
even banana. Fair enough.
virtually no prosperity in North Korea.
Yeah.
60% of all North Koreans live in absolute poverty. It is one of the poorest countries in the world. These videos are aimed at people in the West, but according to Professor Frank, also at Japanese, Chinese, and above all, South Koreans. And depending on the target group, the aim of the propaganda on social media might differ. With regard to South Korea, there is a very specific, long-term goal: a united Korea in line with North Korean ideals. To do this, the North presents itself as strong and proud vis-a-vis the hostile South. The regime generally accuses the South of being the exact opposite, a richer but weaker country due to American influence. Not real Koreans, so to speak. North Korea, on the other hand, is the place to be for real Koreans in that logic. Of course, South Korea doesn't like this at all. There is a serious concern that citizens will fall for this narrative and become receptive to the North Korean ideology.
I don't really think that's a major issue. I think if you have, and I'm trying to come off as not as harsh or not as blunt, but you got half a brain cell and you realize what the actual situation in North Korea is. You ain't leaving South Korea to go to North Korea. You ain't leaving your country to go to North Korea. That's just... but then I have to sit down and think that have there been people who defected to the country in the past couple of years knowing that? And then, the answer to that is probably, I'm guessing, is not non-zero. So there have definitely been people who have defected, but it's... I mean, if you had to get a Darwinian award in terms of evolution and trying to survive, that you would give it to those people who did defect. But it is what it is, man. Hey, this shit's wild. Yeah, it's the best way to put it.
The country takes the propaganda on social media very seriously and blocks it for its own population.
Sure.
Das heißt, wenn man in Südkorea irgendwo was Nordkoreanisches sehen will, geht das nicht. Da kommt sofort irgendwo eine ominöse Nachricht da auf den Screen, und wenn man das zu oft versucht, kriegt man auch direkt mal eine Nachfrage vom
You
südkoreanischen
get questions from South Korean Secret Service asking, oh my god.
Song A's YouTube channel has been blocked in South Korea.
Wow.
YouTube has also deleted the channel for violating the company's guidelines. North Korea will probably try again.
The thing is, right, and this is weird for me to say it, the fact that you're going out of your way to block the North Korean propaganda in a way gives ammunition to the North Korean accounts of saying, see, that's what the West is doing. That's what they don't want you to know the real truth, hence they're blocking it. It kind of legitimizes their viewpoint, which is counterintuitive, but I think the best way, honestly, is to let the content be out there and then ridicule it. Basically, sure, let the videos be up there, but then have a discussion or a debate basically saying, hey, you couldn't even dream of doing the things you can in South Korea in North Korea. You'd just be crucified or just killed immediately. There are things that people, generally do forget, that the freedoms that people enjoy today is built in a lot of effort from said forefathers or the generations before us, basically. So, it's easy to forget, but, you won't notice or you won't experience the pain of those loss of those freedoms unless those freedoms are taken from you. And quite frankly, if people can't make a decision on, hey, you are trying to defect to a country that is not only incredibly poor, incredibly authoritarian, and does not give a shit about your freedoms, then by all means, go right ahead if they really want to go and do it. Because if you can't let people go on and take their own decisions, then they're going to come to a weird conclusion that you might be trying to hide something from them. It's a very counterintuitive problem to kind of solve, but I think the best way to solve it is just openly discussing about it. Because quite frankly, you cannot dream of having an open discussion about these points and topics in North Korea as you would in any other place on the planet. Quite simply. It is what it is.
The propaganda often comes across as rather clumsy and flat.
Of course.
But social media is great for reaching a lot of people despite low production expenses. The homemade aesthetic of the videos blends in particularly well on TikTok. It is not surprising that videos about North Korea have captured so much attention. The country is completely isolated from the rest of the world. You rarely find out what everyday life is like for real citizens. When a video like this appears in the feed, a lot of people are captivated. It's unfortunate that this very desire to simply learn more about this strange place and its people is so strategically exploited and perverted, which is something that YouTubers luckily never do. The real North Korea continues to be largely withheld from us because a cruel regime has absolutely no interest in nuanced truth.
Oh, of course. I think that's the best way of putting it out there. I think you want to genuinely know something about any country or any other part of the world. You read up, you research, you learn as much as you can. But the more you realize that there is a country that's trying to obfuscate the truth or try to like really make it as hard as possible to learn something about not necessarily a country or a company or a culture, genuinely or quite generally, there's more often reasons that they just don't want you to know about certain truths. And that's kind of the reason why that just happens. It is what it is. And once you do realize that, it's best to just keep your head out of it and just live your life. That's just about it. Because quite frankly, they get far more from you trying to learn more about them than them trying to learn more about you. So it is what it is. That's the bizarre world of North Korean influencers by Fern. Beautiful video, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you beautiful bastards in the next one. Yeah, this is a weird one. You do notice more and more North Korean propaganda like popping up on like YouTube, on like X even in some situations. But it is interesting knowing that people look at these videos and then there are people still like not so well versed with the situation in North Korea to basically leave comments and basically say, hey, I'd love to live there. Which is wild if you know anything about the country. But it is what it is. It's the world we live in. So yeah. Catch you in the next one. Peace.